be really fun. PulseChain is fucking interesting because it does things that have never been done before. I think this will blow your mind. People think that Tether is worth $1 because it often trades for $1 on exchanges. But we know that for a while, Tether was fractionally reserved because they had about $600 million seized from a bank.
Right.
And who knows what the real fractional reserve is? Nobody fucking knows.
Yeah.
So, but it's still traded near $1. And then that makes you wonder, what if it was 100% fractional reserved? Would it still trade for $1? At what point might, I don't know. So when PulseChain forks Tether, which has admin keys, they could just invalidate all the coins. But their users would probably sue them for doing that because I think that those Tether, even though they're not going to be redeemable for anything, I think they're going to have a value on PulseChain. I just have no idea what it is. So it's going to be so crazy to see whether stablecoins that have no backing at all actually have a value and what that value is on this new chain. And
it's going to be an interesting experiment.
Yeah,
it will be. And this was the bit that kind of got me, was when somebody was saying that, hey, they're going to duplicate the entire state of Ethereum, duplicate all of the ERC-20 tokens, and suddenly you're going to have double. And I was like, well, wait a minute, you're not really going to have double. You're going to have, if you've got 1,000,
we'll have different parameters,
Tether
right?
ERC-20, and you've now got 1,000 PRC-20 Tether. Those PRC-20 Tether are going to have an entirely different value to the ERC-21 for the reason you just described.
For sure, yeah,
100%. It's a totally different price discovery, and because the PRC-20 tokens are not used anywhere else, they're going to be worthless. And then,
I don't think so.
That's going to be the problem.
I don't I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I got some more cool shit coming. I'll tell you about.
Oh, you may well do. Everybody does. But,
No, I have more than most. I'm the founder of a $50 billion cryptocurrency. I have more than most.
Yeah, you can brag about that. I mean, that's fine. But that doesn't change the facts, right? So, I mean, the point being,
I'm going to blow your mind with more technology shit.
Those things have two totally different, price discovery mechanisms.
Right. So we chose a model where the difference is the maximum possible. We just chose an example where some guys with admin keys could literally invalidate all the coins on PulseChain for their admin key bullshit, fake DeFi bullshit, fake crypto bullshit. They could just invalidate everything. So even in that example where it's maximally hard to overcome the objections, it's still very interesting because they might not use those admin keys to fuck over all the users because they'd be robbing the users if indeed those things had value, even though they weren't redeemable. Now let's take the other position. Let's take the position of things that could be more valuable on the PulseChain than they were on Ethereum. And I'll give you a list of them. If you believe that software should cost less than $1 to send a transaction, well, Ethereum's not for you. It's fucked. It costs a shitload to do anything. So for any use case that's gas intensive, or for any use case that's priced out on Ethereum, that's not fake DeFi, that's not admin key bullshit, that's real cryptocurrency with real no admin keys, like Hex, like Uniswap, kind of. There are some things out there that don't have this middleman gatekeeping fucking, not like they just control all your money. You give them the keys and then they control all the money. That is the opposite of why crypto was invented. For those things that are real, they could be more valuable in Pulse than they are in Ethereum because it has higher throughput and it has lower fees. And those are very, very strong incentives for things that are crippled and can't even function because no one can afford to use them.
Just like every other Ethereum cloud. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a large, I believe there's a large use case for being able to actually experiment and use the blockchain again because it's more affordable. And there's also evidence to support this. This is not, this is not the forced EVM fork of Ethereum. It is the first one to bring system state and giving the world's largest airdrop that gives 10,000 new free coins to the world. You want to talk about new excitement? All these coin listing sites, which in general I don't like, they have to now list about 10,000 new pairs. Have fun, guys.
What are they going to list it after, right? If you've got some particular coin on the ERC-20 version, are they going to now list separately? They're going to have to list separately.
They have to.
ERC-20
if they have a value.
They're going to have a different price. Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they have to if they have a value. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Totally separate value discovery. And some are going to be stronger and some are going to be weaker. Now,
but why do that if you're not? The only reason to do that is to mislead people into thinking they're the same thing.
What? No, they're not the same thing.
Right, but you're
it's just like an ice cream. An ice cream is different in the summer sun than it is in your freezer. It's still an ice cream, but one melts and one doesn't. Like It's just like saying BCH is Bitcoin. No, it's not.
Analogy I think I've heard. But
yeah, like just when you change parameters of a thing, like this isn't Theseus's ship. Like there are parameters being changed here. Yeah. There's the block times are 4 times quicker. The validator set is smaller. It's proof of stake instead of proof of work. It burns fees, so it should naturally tend to accrue value because there's less supply over time. There's no inflation. It just gets the supply smaller and smaller over time. So we'll start with a very high supply to make up for that. And like it's just there's so many different things. I have absolutely no interest in anyone thinking.
Of chains that are doing this, right?
Sure,
so this is nothing new,
and they're all worth billions. So yay. like they're all wildly successful. Most like the ones that I notice anyway. Like BSC is wildly successful. Matic is wildly successful. Matic has admin keys. They can steal all your money whenever they want. Crazy to me. Fucking crazy to me that people use that. I don't get it. So world's largest airdrop, fee burning. It's funny that Ethereum 2 is trying to do what we're going to beat them to market with. They're trying to do fee burning with the IP 1559. We're going to beat them to market. They're trying to do people staking up their coins and locking them up to earn yield. We're going to beat them to market with that. But we're going to come with all the coins, and they're not. They have to try and do a bridge.
You're not coming with all the coins. This is the thing, though. You're not coming with all the coins. You're coming with clones of all the coins with no value.
That right? Okay, so let's talk about value. Let's talk about value.
With some value.
Sure. Right. Let's talk about value. You're familiar with Uniswap?
Yeah.
In Uniswap, everything is interchangeable with everything else. So if one thing has value, everything has value because you can path from wherever you are to wherever that value is.
Right.
So as long as the PulseChain pair has value that can get to mainnet Ethereum through a bridge, or even to XRP through a bridge, or even to whatever through a bridge, then we have real world value that you can sell at an exchange for money that you can buy a house with. And then all of those PRC20s will be able to find a value against that. And because of the way Uniswap V2 works, you cannot exhaust the value. It can never trade to zero. And so one of the first transaction, or one of the first transactions to occur when the new chain exists, is that a contract will go through and execute a trade on all of the automated market maker pairs to harvest PRC20s and then reward those liquidity providers with Pulse. So those LPs will have more Pulse and they'll have less PRC20. And then you take all those harvested PRC20s, you put them in a Uniswap fork, and now none of those coins can stop playing the game unless they use admin keys.
So just to recap, so I understand it. So you're going to have effectively a market between the ERC-20 version of a coin and a PRC-20 version of a coin that will have different values, but there'll be effectively a market between them that allows you to go from one to the other. That would say, like, my PRC-20 of this token is worth, a tenth of the ERC-20, so I can exchange 10 PRC-20 tokens for one ERC-20 token of the same name.
Yes, you're going to have value discovery. Yeah. Now, how those you can't algorithmically add all the coins because some coins have weird non-standard parameters. Not everything is ERC-20 compliant. So you can bridge a lot of stuff. And then there's an advantage to the PulseChain network to kind of limit the bridging so that the majority of value getting out and into the Pulse network makes the Pulse coin itself more valuable. Because basically we already have a higher throughput, cheaper chain, and then you would prefer kind of all the arbing and value discovery happen on that cheaper chain. And then once the value discovery has occurred, if some arbing to mainnet needs to occur, you'd kind of want it to choke point through the Pulse pair just to add more value to Pulse. But if other people want to run their own bridges and then do a wide band, more horizontal approach, they can do it. They just need to build a bridge to do it.